Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am Bhagyashree and we are learning the course on cell structure and function. So let's look into detail. Now this is a part 2. We have already covered part 1. So who haven't referred the video, please go through it so you'll have a better conceptual understanding to learn the part 2. And if you like the video, don't forget to click on subscribe button below and also like and share the video. Now a quick recap of what we learned before. This is just a glimpse of it. Now we know that cell, it is a basic structural and functional unit of cellular organisms. It is called a cell. And the aqueous compartment, it is bound by cell membrane, which is capable of independent existence and performing the essential functions of life. So all the organisms more than viruses, it consists of cells. Now viruses, they are non-cellular organisms. Why? Because they lack cell or the cell-like structure. Now in 1665, what happened? Robert Hooke, he was the first one who discovered cells in piece of cork, and he was the one who coined the term cell. Now the cell, in Latin word, it means cellula. Cellula, it means a small compartment, and it was published in famous work Micrographia. Now it observed cell wall because cork cells are dead and without cytoplasmic content. Now we learned a basic introduction about the cell. Now how the evolution of the cell took place, we are going to learn about it in detail. Now cell arose 3.5 million years ago with a mixture of organic compounds, primordial soup of prebiotic times. Now Camor heterotrophs, it acquired the capability to derive energy from certain compounds in their environment and to use that energy to synthesize more and more their own precursor molecules, becoming less dependent on outside sources of the molecules, less extremely heterotrophic. Now the development of photosynthetic organisms was H2S yielding elemental sulfur as a byproduct, but at some cell points, cell developed enzymatic capacity to use water as electron donor in photosynthetic reactions producing oxygen. Now cyanobacteria are modern descendants of early photosynthetic oxygen producers, and the transition from small cells with relatively simple internal structures called the prokaryotic cells, it includes various types of bacteria to a flourishing larger and radically more complex eukaryotic cells, which are found in higher animals and plants. The fossil record shows that earliest eukaryotic cells it evolved about 1.5 billion years ago, and the details of evolutionary path from the prokaryotes to eukaryotes cannot deduced from fossil fuels alone, but from the morphological and biochemical comparison of modern organisms. It suggested that reasonable sequence of events with fossil evidence took place. Now there are three changes which occurred to prokaryotes to give rise to eukaryotes. Cell acquired more DNA, mechanisms evolved to it folded compactly into discrete complexes with specific proteins and divided equally between daughter cells at cell division. Now the DNA protein complexes called as chromosomes become especially compact at the time of cell division, and cells become larger and intracellular membrane organelles develop. Eukaryotic cells, they have nucleus which contains most of the cell DNA, which is enclosed by a double layer of membrane, and the DNA kept in compartment separate from rest of the contents of the cell cytoplasm, where most of the cell metabolic reaction occurs. The primitive eukaryotic cells, which are capable of photosynthesis or of aerobic metabolism, pulled their acids with those of aerobic bacteria or photosynthetic bacteria to form associations that became permanent. Now, some aerobic bacteria evolved into the mitochondria of modern eukaryotes, and some photosynthetic cyanobacteria became the chloroplast of modern plant cells. So, this is all about the evolution of cell. the history of cell basically. So stay tuned for more lessons to come. Thank you for watching.